GM.
GM.
How goes it?
Happy Friday.
Good morning.
It's Friday in California. I used to post that on Fridays. There's some clip. There's some account that posts that like every Friday. It's like some it's like an Asian like policeman in like an LA cop uniform. He's like hitting two like machetes together. It's like ching ching. It's Friday in California.
Rebecca Black Friday. It's a cult classic.
What's been up though? What's happening?
I don't know. Talk to me. I haven't been paying attention.
No?
What's going on the last 2 days?
Well, it's looking like we're back again. We're not back. We're back. We're not back. We're back. He's pushing 2100.
It's another Solana airdrop. Solana airdrop season.
Yeah. Talk to us about the airdrops. What's going on Solana, Denton?
I'm just messing with NFTs. Messing around on Tensor.
The Tensorians.
Mad Lads keep going up. They're probably going to 1,000 Sol. Heard it here first.
Which one moved to Ethereum?
D-Gods.
I'm listening.
You're talking about in the past?
What was the name of it? The
D-Gods. D-Gods.
D-Gods, that's right.
There was one Telegram bot that moved from Solana to Ethereum recently. I think they might be feeling bad about that.
What are you gonna use a Telegram bot on Solana?
Oh,
There's
are you
shit
talking
coins on Solana.
Yeah, I saw that. What's that bot called? The Solana bot.
Nolo.
I don't know why. It just feels like it feels like the Solana stuff
BNB.
is very forced. Like
dude, it's another BNB chain, dude.
Yeah, but like BNB was like organic, like Asia volume, right? It was like organic Asia degeneracy.
Well, BNB was the first time people got to explore an alternative EVM.
And tons of like normies, like, a lot of the people that I talked to in the real world who were just kind of getting introduced to DeFi stuff, they were going hard on BSC. Like they were doing shit that there was no way that I would have fathomed that people who, like they don't understand like what they're doing when they send a transaction. I wouldn't think that they were bridging to BNB.
Yes, in early 2021, complete normies had like guides about how to set up MetaMask RPCs.
It was crazy.
On Facebook.
It was wild. So what's different though is like with the Solana ones, it feels like
everyone feels like they were paid to say it.
Yeah, like you look at the NFTs and all the Ethereum NFTs, they're not great, but the Solana ones have a very specific aesthetic to them. Like
they're all derivatives of something that is already big.
It's like the coloring that they use, like the style of coloring the NFT. They all have this same, like, I don't want to say fiber, right? But like no hate on the backpack guys and Mad Lads, but like Mad Lads is a prime example of it, right? You look at Mad Lads and like nothing about it like pops out to you, right? Like it doesn't look like anything. No, I'm not saying like Bored Apes, like anything like pops out. Pudgies are great. But you have to remember that when Pudgy Penguins first came out, everyone was insanely pissed. Like when Pudgy's revealed, they immediately nuked to like 0.01, 0.02.
Yeah, that's when I came in.
Yeah, that's when we all came in. But it wasn't even right away. We were like mad. We were like, what the fuck is this? And then and then came the scouring over them and just looking at them in OpenSea, possibly under the influence, and beginning to laugh at them and how funny they were. and then it spawned from there. But they were terrible too. But like they don't have the same like type of color aesthetic that that the Solana ones do. There's two kinds, right? Like there's the ones that have like kind of they're kind of 3D-esque, and all of those share a very similar aesthetic. And or I should say that they have depth, because they're obviously not 3D, they're 2D PFPs. But the ones that have some depth to them, those ones, they all share a very similar aesthetic. And then the like 2D drawings, those ones all share a very like specific aesthetic. And yeah, I know it's mid curving it, but I just can't bring myself to like buy them. I look at
And I like the pixelated ones.
I don't know what happened there. But I look at them and I'm just like, I can't bring myself to get on board with the NFTs.
Listen, I like the pixelated ones, like Quicks, which are like ducks, and saurians. I think they're okay.
They're so bad. It's not
they're generic, but
for that
they're
one,
okay.
For those kind, it's not a Solana thing. It's every time that style of NFT comes around, I just like, I can't do it. I totally mid curve those. And I just look at him and I'm like, who's going to buy that from me? Like, who is the greater fool when I buy one of those? And it always happens to be that there are many greater fools than the first batch of people that buy them. Yeah, the pixelated ones, they're always really hard for me. Even like the Arbitrum, like Small Brains and like stuff like that. Like, shout out to all you guys. But I looked at those and I'm like, why would I buy this? Like I wouldn't want to use it as my PFP, and I don't know who is going to buy it from me. But yeah, I guess I'm also just
pixelated ducks. How can you go wrong?
My NFT thesis in prior cycle was there was a cute thesis, things that were cute sold and had staying power. And then there was like the generative art thesis. It was like just be first because everyone's crazy about gen art. So it was really easy. And then when it came to like some of the other metas, I couldn't rationalize the meta to myself. So I skipped it. And a lot of those were like those pixelated. Huh? I didn't miss the Malay. I had Maladies before fucking anyone even knew what Maladies were.
What about cyberpunks? You don't like cyberpunks?
No. Cyberkongs, like I couldn't get into all that stuff because again, like there's no it doesn't really seem like there's anything to that where I would want to use it as a PFP, and I can imagine that someone else would want it more than me getting stuck with it when I minted it.
It's like OG internet, like literally cyberpunk.
Except it's not, because it's happening now and not like when Ethereum first launched.
So it's nostalgia bait.
But that just makes it a grift because it's not nostalgia, it's like it's new.
Anything pixelated like this is nostalgia bait. It's like it speaks to certain aesthetics that used to have in old video games and old internet.
True.
So it appeals to a certain type of person.
I love like pixel characters. I had a game, an on-chain game that me and a developer of ours made many years ago that was all pixel characters, and I contracted an artist that like once a week would make me new pixel characters that were pinned up against each other. I love pixel art and like nostalgic pixelated video game characters.
Shout out to DeFi Kingdoms.
But like I can't see the value in owning one that's not a part of a game and trading that, because I can't rationalize that there will be a greater fool than myself in buying it. which there always is. I have to remember that I'm not the dumbest, right? Like I may feel like I'm pretty stupid, and that's why I'm interested in buying this pixelated thing. But I have to remember that I'm probably thinking more critically than anyone else who's going to buy this thing after me, and I should just buy it.
I think they appeal to different subsections of demographics, like apes and punks appeal to different types of people. And Solana is just like Mad Lads are copying this like Azuki style or like.
And I hated the Azukis.
Then the Tensorians are copying like the pixelated punk style.
I went in on Azukis when they that was so. Just for any Solana bros watching, this isn't a gripe with just Solana NFTs. Like I could not stand Azukis when they dropped. I'm like, what is this? Why are people buying these? They're not even good, and it's just a side profile. Like it's just so low effort to me. And people are paying 20, 30, 40, 100 ETH for some of the rare ones. Like what the fuck? I couldn't, I mid-curved Azukis because I couldn't rationalize, the style, even the rare ones when they were showing the elementals. I'm like, who the fuck wants this? Like,
no, listen, I agree with you about Azukis.
At least with punks, there's, the fact that they've been around since close to the beginning, right? Like they're the first PFP project that brought popularity to Ethereum NFTs. So even though they weren't the first NFT on Ethereum, which they used to claim they were, they are the first that really like brought, I think, mainstream interaction to
Wasn't
NFTs.
that CryptoKitties?
Yeah, I was gonna say CryptoKitties like helped that as well, but I think punks they already had like attention gravity in the crypto circle. Like even Carbon was like really heavy on punks early on. And I remember he sold on the first run up and he was like, oh, they're done. No one's ever buying these again. And then that's when I bought, like when they dumped that time, I bought a bunch of them. And then they had their like real run up because that was like, right in the beginning of the NFT bull market. But yeah, I even though I don't aesthetically enjoy punks, I understand why they're valuable. So like I would still buy punks now and trade them because there are always going to be people that want the original PFP, for Ethereum, the OG like Ethereum PFP. Whereas that same argument I could never make for like Azuki. And like it would have been hard to make it for Bored Ape, but Bored Ape started doing all of this extra stuff to kind of push them ahead. Like, okay, we're making brand deals and we're making deals with clothing companies. We partner with Adidas. They expanded themselves outside of just like the crypto NFT crowd.
Yeah.
And Punks was like, we're already established.
Yeah.
And then you go buy some.
The 3D ones, like literally the ones that look like CGI, are just so ugly. So some sets.
You weren't a Meebit fan?
Yeah, I made some good money on Meebits.
I did too, but Meebits
that was the V Friends era when I made a bunch of money on V Friends.
Dude, I had a Meebit elephant for a while, and holding that thing was the most painful hold I ever had. Like,
nah, those are okay because it's like voxel. I'm talking about like the Cleanosaurs, for example.
I sold the top of the elephants for sure. Like, I think I was like one of the last ones to sell before Meebit started declining. Oh, that was a heavy bag, that elephant, let me tell you. Not only are they big animals, but they're heavy fucking NFTs too. Oh, let's see.
There's some games coming out recently, like Illuvium, I think, came out this week, or is coming out this week.
Have you tested OpenShizun yet, DK? Or have you played around with it?
OpenShizun? No, what's that?
OpenShizun is a game by so I'm actually kind of excited to talk about this. You obviously know Cryptic Crooks.
What?
Cryptic Crooks, back from the rope days?
Yep.
Okay, so Crypty was always doing like the like I'm trying to think what he called it then, the shit verse or something back then. like all the little like turd NFTs and characters. You may not remember that part of it, but CryptoCrook has been working on creating like an interactive experiences, I should say, around NFTs for the last, I don't know, man, like 3.5 years. He's been trying to get something off the ground. And over the last like year and a half, him and a few other guys have been building through this company called FU Studios. And their first game that they're releasing is called OpenShizun. And OpenShizun is kind of like
Hotline
kind of
Miami.
it's kind of like Fortnite, to be honest. But the characters you can be in there are characters from like different NFT communities. So like you've probably seen videos of like, you know, the milady running around with like, you know, a shotgun or like, you know, an AK in a video game looking world. And they're like shooting at the Bored Apes or shooting at the alien punk.
I
so
saw
like
this with the Bored Apes. I did.
Yeah. So it's like a team, you know, a team deathmatch battle royale kind of game, where you have all these characters. And I want to say yesterday or 2 days ago, they just got accepted into the Epic store. So shout out to Crypty. I think
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Spook, maybe his name is. There's another guy that's on the timeline all the time. Sorry if I butchered your at, but big shout out to those guys. I think that the game will probably be one of the few that kind of like actually catches people's attention. You know, I've been saying for a long time that I don't think that crypto like gaming will happen in the way that a lot of people were hoping, or, you know, I'm not bullish on things like Illuvium and like crypto native games. Sorry. My thesis has always been that if a multi-billion-dollar company like Epic, Blizzard, you name it, any of the top companies, AAA gaming companies, if it's costing them billions of dollars to produce one good game every, let's be generous, 5 years, okay? I would say decade, but one good game every 5 years. And they've been, this is their career. This is what they've been doing. How the fuck is like a group of 5 crypto bros who enjoy video games going to build a better game than them? They're not. So I've never been very bullish on like crypto native gaming, but OpenShizun has changed that. And I think it's because rather than focus on it being some type of crypto thing and then, you know, around or like encapsulating a game, it's just a straight game. And then they're going to inject like some crypto things to it. Like one of the elements is a portion that I've always said will be the way that kind of NFTs and crypto spill into gaming, and that's through the store and through like skins, wraps for your weapons and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right now, you can go onto OpenSea. You can buy OpenShizun weapon wraps for like all sorts of different types of guns to use. And I've always talked about that when Tom Clancy did it like 2 years ago, they announced that they were gonna make their store on chain and the items like NFTs. They got tons of backlash and they had to pull back and go, okay, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, the backlash from gamers was insane.
Yeah. But that, I still think that method is going to be how like gaming and crypto like mesh. Like, I don't think a crypto native game is going to be attractive to regular gamers. And I don't think that it will have enough, like that it's such a small niche group that are even going to like the type of game that crypto group made. They're like, you're not going to make any money on it. So like, unless you're creating the game and you're injecting it into the store where there's already a huge market for this. We already see this with like the CSGO secondary market, the Fortnite secondary market for accounts that have like old rare skins and shit like that. People pay tens of thousands into the hundreds of thousands of dollars just to have unique skins. And
the problem is those companies like Valve, they have no interest in having it decentralized because they control their marketplace and they get a massive commission from every sale. it's hard to get out. So getting out is
they would make no.
more.
It's because I'll tell you exactly why. It's because none of the companies understood how they could legally make money on the secondary sales until I think recently they're starting to figure out how they could do that. Because exactly what you're saying, they can make all the money in their store. So why would you not take advantage of the black market and fees that you would make off every sale of your royalty fee? Why would you not take advantage of that additional stream of revenue when your biggest worry is loss of gamers, right? Like loss of people buying your stuff. But if you always have players that are trading and you're always collecting a fee, it's just an additional stream of revenue that you're making. So I actually think that it has to do with like the optics and the pushback, and then understanding like how to make money on the secondary market.
There's also games where there are skins and they are very expensive, but they're not tradable at all, not even within its own ecosystem.
Well, that's my point, right? Like right now you have these games where you have the black market that exists because there is no way to buy and sell them. And number two, you have these items that are already priced extremely high because of their rarity.
No, I mean, in CSGO, you can trade it. And
yeah, I know you
can get something for it, but there are games where there's skins worth like $1,000, but you can't trade them. There's no way for you to move it without selling.
No, I understand that's the Fortnite black market. You can't trade skins at all. You have to people. People sell their accounts on eBay for thousands of dollars because they have skins from season or from chapter 1 that have never been re-released.
I'll tell you,
you have to sell the entire account for it.
I'll tell you the hidden hand that pushes all these markets forward. It's the same hidden hand that I think is like the reason that PayPal is pushing. It's chargebacks. I think that there's a gross amount of chargebacks that happens in that industry. There's a gross amount of, parents angry that their kids spent, $5,000 on a weekend on some random thing. And then they have to try to either meet in the middle, or they have to deal with credit card processing, or they have to roll back all those transactions.
Fortnite's begun meeting in the middle. So what they do is they give you 5 returns a year. So for anything that you buy from the store, if you have not yet used it in a game, you can return it within a month. So you have 30 days.
What I'm saying is you can get rid of, they probably did that just because of the hassle of dealing with customer service, right? There's a massive amount of money, and there's a massive amount of the on the banking side, and on the finance side, and the accounts receivable side of all chargebacks, right? It's a fucking pain in the ass. In crypto, you can be like, sorry. And just, they're like, sorry, refund. I can't refund you, and you can't charge it back. You can't do the credit card path where you tell them it was a fraudulent transaction, and then you go through the settlement process, and then 6 months down the line they prove that it was actually you, and then they take the money back. So you can't do any of that.
It's probably pretty sticky since you're not actually buying it from them. You're buying it from PlayStation to buy through them, or you're buying it through Xbox to buy through them. So then it's if I'm charging something back, I'm actually contacting PlayStation. I'm not.
But what I'm saying is if I'm running a gaming business, I
understand you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying it would be, it's very, it gets very murky when you start looking at, that it's not the user isn't directly interacting with.
But that's a PlayStation. That's like a Sony thing, right? That's like a Microsoft thing. That's how they can make sure that the monetization of the products go through them and they get their cut. It's the same thing that the Apple Store does.
You think Valve would ever want to adopt NFTs, though? They literally have their own marketplace with its own charts and prices in dollars.
I feel like it's only a matter of time. I don't think that it's will they. It's just a when. I'm very certain that for in-game items that it's a for sure thing that will happen. It's a natural progression.
An adapt or die thing, right? You find one good. Valve was the only one around for a long time, and now you have, 2 decently up there competitors to Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't adapt, you adapt
as soon as one of them adopts NFTs,
Dude, I'd buy a Renegade Raider for 100,000 V-Bucks from someone.
I'll find one.
I'll give you 100,000 V-Bucks for it.
Oh no, I don't want your fake internet money. Okay, I want cold hard USDC.
Yeah. And man, Cozy, what you were saying about crypto games, I think, like, I literally went to try Axie and Decentraland back in like very early 2021, and I was like, these games are horrible. Like this, I'm not buying this coin. And then it went up like fucking 100x.
Oh, infinite.
So I mid curved it so hard.
Don't mid curve Ron.
So you can be bullish on the tokens, but I mean, I still honestly think 99% of these games are just it literally looks like the minimum. It's like someone made the most basic thing in Unreal Engine just to say that, hey, this is a video game. Look at it. It's a video game, right? Correct.
Axie's a decentralized sweatshop.
And then everyone is like a hive mind. It's like, look, this game looks so good, even though it's crypto, but in reality, it doesn't actually look good. It doesn't look like a game that you would actually for real play. You're just bullish on it because there's a
Bitmates is a cool game that reminds me of like a Game Boy-esque game that you would play. Mm-hmm. I will say that game.
Which one?
Bitmates is probably one of the few like true crypto native games that I don't think it's enough like gets enough.
I mean, they use crypto to bootstrap and build the team.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and now they're working. It's like a lot of the treasure projects. It's like they used NFTs or they used some sort of model to bootstrap themselves. And it makes sense.
I really like the art and the music in DeFi Kingdoms back in the day, but I still didn't.
You guys looked at Runiverse at all?
No. Talk to me about it.
No.
I mean, Runiverse was similar. They had their NFT drop, and then they used it to fund a game. But the game is like completely different than the ecosystem, right? That's like an IP play, right? It's like a lot of the game's value and revenue generation and all that stuff doesn't really go to the NFT holders per se, but you can utilize, your NFTs in the game. You can like play as your characters in, the game. But they just use it to, they have the movie that's coming out soon. They got the game that just went into beta. Anyway,
did you see Paz's OhBabyGames partner with Paramount?
I don't know what Paz's OhBabyGames is.
Okay, so you've probably seen you've probably seen me, CL, a bunch of people share it over the course of the last like year. But there's like it looked like Mario Kart, but with crypto like personalities.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a guy who I want to say almost 2 years ago now, maybe started a company called OhBabyGames. It's like a crypto native gaming company. But they're like a legit gaming studio. Their first game, it looks, I mean, even graphically, it looks like Mario Kart, but better. Like it looks like a better graphically put together version of Mario Kart. And they just partnered with Paramount. And their game is also coming into like the Steam Epic Store, I believe, very soon.
You've been checking out what Sobi does at all?
With Zai?
Yeah.
I have not. I used to follow along really closely because I was gonna like hop on board and help them out before they rebranded. But we've been so busy just doing our own shit that like I haven't been trying to do anything with anyone. Even like I'm doing this thing with.
Maybe we can get him on. He can take us through.
I'll tell him to come on next Friday.
Because he was like one of the first, like the first one to use the tech of like you're in the metaverse and you have opened a prompt real quick, a debug screen, and say, create a pink present with a blue bun or like a blue ribbon on it or whatever, and then it would just generate it, and it's fully rigged and everything. And they pick it up with your hand, and you can do whatever. And he would like go up to a wall, and he'd be like, spray paint a mushroom graffiti on this, and then like he'd just slap it on. It would just slap on the wall. You could type in anything, and then it would just create this 3D model, and then it would put it on whatever you wanted. And so he was like the first one to like actually utilize that tech real time in a metaverse gaming type scenario. But I feel like he's more like a publisher now. I feel like they kind of I think they probably got a bunch of funding, and maybe now that they play like a publishing role.
Well, that was the original like the company that he was, I don't know, advising or a part of at first They were a publishing company, and their whole like shtick was they were going to help bring a lot of these like smaller games that are addicting and like give you that dopamine rush. Those like independent studio games, bring those into like Web3, and I remember looking at the deck and it looked like really promising. It was really well put together, which is why I wanted to help them out. And then we just kind of like drifted apart in the workspace. Like I just didn't have time to focus on anything other than like what we've been doing. Even this thing like I'm doing with Insert, I didn't want it to be like a for-profit thing at all, or like to have to think too much about it. So when they were explaining it to me, I'm like, okay, I don't know how any of it works, so let's just make it really simple. I just want to play and just give me an NFT. So any fees I would get given back to whoever is like minting or some shit, and like just tell me when we're playing. I don't have time to focus on anything else right now.
I think if a game like RuneScape literally like forget about any integration, forget about NFTs, if they literally just make the currency a fucking cryptocurrency, that would be big for them.
I'm
like it has so much
totally
lore.
against that. Yeah.
Because what?
There's so much lore in that game. There's so much like history and nostalgia and stuff. You can't just. That's not something you can just copy paste over.
The only thing
I'm saying literally RuneScape. Like if literally RuneScape
okay.
makes RuneScape Gold into currency you can trade on crypto exchanges.
I'll tell you what, I probably still wouldn't play it. So you don't have me.
Yeah, but you could trade it.
All right, but did you used to play RuneScape?
I did not. I was more of a Ragnarok guy myself back in that time period.
Well, see, that's why. Like, you're not gonna play it now just because it has crypto.
Pixel art enjoyer.
Pixel art enjoyer. Yeah, I back then was like really into like more of the OG first-person shooters, like old Doom, Duke Nukem's, Wolfensteins.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, that's you're showing your age.
Obvious. That's obvious.
That's like the old.
I played Doom as a 3-year-old.
I mean, I was probably like 4 or 5. Like,
we were probably. I mean, we were probably like 7 to 10.
I played Duke Nukem 3D when I was like 5.
I still remember like going to my grandma's and like having no idea how to use a computer, but I knew how to boot up. I knew how to boot up Doom or like Wolfenstein from like DOS on their computer. I knew nothing else, but I knew the commands I had to write in to like get the game to boot up.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I used to have this NASCAR game. Fuck, dude, I used to play that game a lot. I barely understood what was going on, but yeah, there was some cool MS-DOS games. But yeah, nostalgia. That's all nostalgia. Same with when you roll back emulators, like pixel art games, like Super Nintendo games and Game Boy games.
I have a hard drive that has an emulator of like every system and just about every game for them.
Bitcoin is breaking out right now.
What is Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. It
Yeah,
touched 39.
I said that when we started. I said it's looking like we're back. We're about to touch 21. We're over 38.
39. It touched 39 just now.
38,809 according to my Stream Deck.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I'm looking on Bitstamp.
Did you twop the top? Yeah, okay. I'm looking at it now. Dude, DK, 15,288 transactions 2 days ago on that one account. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? All right, I'm trying to think. What is there was something that happened 2 years ago that I forgot to talk about on the stream.
The kyberswap thing?
We talked about it a little bit, but let's recap.
We talked about the kyberswap thing on yesterday with Dolomite, not on this.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that's what it was. So the kyberswap thing, the latest message from him is probably the
Did you do another one today or no?
I haven't seen one yet today. Is today the day that they had? I thought they
Oh
had
no,
till
I
like
think they
the
have like
second
till
or
the
the
10th.
third.
I think they have to like the 10th actually.
Okay, so he's essentially the kyberswap hacker has now essentially
Become a benevolent dictator of the. He wants to be the dictator of the company.
yeah, and he's his proposal is a hostile takeover. Essentially, he's saying that he's
I
going to.
DM'd him on Telegram. I asked to be his henchman.
Did you just send him? You should send him the like, "Milady, you've attracted an audience." meme. Yeah, he's now essentially telling kyberswap that they need to hand over the company to him, the company's assets, that the founders are to resign. He'll give them he'll pay them well. He didn't say a number, I think, for them, but the employees, if they stay, he will pay them double. If they leave, is saying he'll give them 12 months severance for token holders, investors, and LPs. He's just saying it's going to do better. It's going to go up. It's going to turn it into a new crypto project.
And I think he said that if this goes forward, then LPs will get 50%.
Yep,
which is
a 50% rebate, which is more
like
than
more
they
than you deserve, but less than you expect. Less than you expect, more than you deserve.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
I mean, it literally would go up if this happens. This is just how crypto is.
Yeah, I mean, it would get bid just because the most entertaining outcome is usually the most likely. And I don't know. I have a timer. I have an alert set for the 10th. I'll be checking his Twitter on the 10th to see what happens. But what do you think, DK? You think we're going to see more stuff like this? Like,
No.
Do you think it's an inside job? Do you think it's more just someone fucking with them? Like,
no, I think it's.
I think they fucked up once once you're asking to like
think
transfer
it's-
real world assets, you're kind of like, what are you going to dox yourself? Like, you're fucked. How are you going to get the real world assets transferred to you without using your real name or a company that you own? Like,
Dude,
that's where they lost me.
Set up a, just it depends on how. I mean, I don't want to put a target on our back. This is probably one of the most complicated hacks I've ever seen. Right. So, I don't want to say anything bad about this guy, but depends on how like actually like how sophisticated is he? Does he have like, multiple offshore company shells set up that he could do this?
Well, let's think about this, right? How sophisticated is this hack?
As I said, the hack was probably one of the most sophisticated hacks I've ever seen. So I think of two things. I think of he's probably a very sophisticated actor, or he thinks he is like, a god tier coder, or it's an inside thing with an employee that is
also has a god complex, and
could be. It could be a lot of things. And I think they're all highly probable. So I'm not entirely, I think that Aragon, someone on like I don't know if like Aragon had like LP on there or something, but like Aragon's court is like a Claros court, but I think they're decommissioning it because like no one is really using it. But someone put up on Aragon court that like proposed like a legal lawsuit from Aragon to the exploiter for like taking their money or something, or if this guy's is gonna, I don't know. It was funny, but yeah, I have no idea what will happen. I don't think that they're gonna negotiate. I also don't know if they have any leverage.
I don't know. I don't know if they do either. Like, I saw maybe a tweet from like Bantag the other day, or someone else that's like,
he was mad about the situation. I think.
In the kind of the war room space, and he was pretty much saying this guy's fucked. Okay, cyber hacker should shut the fuck up, given how much he has contaminated the crime scene. You're caught in 4K, buddy.
Yeah, so maybe they have leverage. Or
Yeah,
maybe they're just saying that, you know, to bluff.
I don't know. I feel like
it's pretty hard to hide your identity on Jane nowadays.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. I mean, it's very hard. It's very hard. And you're definitely not going to exit with whatever it was, 30 or 40 million.
Nah.
So maybe this is an easier way to exit with a certain amount of value. I mean, you're not, if you negotiate, you're going to set a precedent, and then you're going to get other people with this like big head to think they can do stuff like this as well. So I don't know.
We'll see. The 10th, we got 9 days. We got 9
days. He could be just a troll, and he gives back 50% of the LP and never replies to them again. Right?
I'm here for it. I'm here for whatever happens on the 10th. Like
pretty much.
I love the spectrum of things that can happen in crypto, which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, because it's something.
He's forming a mutiny, right? Like a coup. Yeah. It's interesting. It's a good social experiment, to say the least.
I'm here for it. Which the other thing is, Blast now has over 650 million deposited into their multi-sig, and they're also now hiring senior, not lead.
Yeah, they don't have developers.
I was corrected by a friend of mine who's also an investor that it's not a lead, it's a senior protocol developer and senior DevOps engineer. And I love it. I was just laughing in our group chat that I have with these guys, and I'm like, only in crypto can you have the public send $650 million to a multi-sig and then go, oh shit, we have almost $1 billion in here. We should probably
start working on this.
We should probably figure this out. We got 3 months.
I need developers.
It'd be funny if it's just like they just fork OP stack and just do like a straight like canonical where like die whatever canonicals up to whatever DUSD or Blast UC or whatever, and they just keep it as a multi-sig on the base on the
don't say it will be funny if, because that's what's going to roll out.
Hey man, that's the quickest thing you could do. You could do that in 3 months, easy.
My friends were like, it'd be funny if there were quote unquote issues with withdrawals right in the beginning.
Doesn't matter. What are people going to do? Dump their points?
No, they're forced to like use, they want to do something, so they're like forced to use Blast DeFi for like a few weeks, and then it's like, oh yeah, there's things to do here.
Oh, they don't. So yeah, they don't support withdrawals. It's like a one-way bridge.
Yep. Sorry, withdrawal issues. Yeah, but like only in crypto can like something that happen. Like you just start tweeting about an idea backed by Paradigm, raising money, and like just send it to my address. and you raise over $500 million in a week. So I've found this timeline very, very humorous as of lately. We have meme coins going off again. We've got new L2s. We've got Gnosis safes labeling themselves L2s, raising over $500 million of dollars. We've got unhinged hackers doing corporate takeovers via messages embedded in transactions. We are so back. Oh man. So what else is going on here? I
don't know, man. That might be a good time to wrap it up and call it a Friday.
It might be. If you haven't checked it out yet, some things we released this week. Disclaimer, we work for Premia, so I'm talking about Premia stuff now. You can listen if you want to. We just partnered with Dolomite, launched the lending borrow market there. We launched Frax markets. So there's FXX, Frax shares, Frax vaults. Solana markets live. We talked about that a little bit in the beginning of the week.
Yeah, that Dolomite Spices was dope. I mean, I talked
dope.
a lot, but I think we covered a lot of good stuff on that space yesterday.
Yeah, agreed.
Because they're like they're on the same wavelength as us. Like we didn't even talk about most of this stuff beforehand, but we were completely on the same wavelength.
We didn't talk about anything beforehand.
I know. I just
2 days
thought
prior,
it was so we came to the same conclusion independently. Yeah, it's just we're just so on the same wavelength.
It's like 2 days prior. They're like, "You want to do a Spaces on Thursday?" I'm like, "Thursday? Okay, yeah, fuck it." Pretty sure me and DK are free. Let's do it. Yeah. So there's that. There's the Solana vaults that are out, Solana markets. Hidden hand payout. It's pretty. Was nice to see.
Juicy.
Yeah. Much juicier than I expected. I'm bullish bribes now.
Yeah, even with such amounts, it was good.
Big UI updates. For those that I don't know if I'd say it's I think it's definitely preference, right? We now have a if you like the cards, we have a card view for our vaults, where you can change the view to be more row and text based. I think what you're used to seeing more on like a urine and a curve for their vaults. Generally, I like it. I think I'm still more of a fan of the cards than the
depends on how many you're
than
in,
the list. Yeah,
because if you're scrolling, it's kind of like annoying.
I like the list. I'm comfortable with
it.
Yeah. I like cards and just like enabling the vaults that I'm in, so then I don't have to scroll and I just see the 3. But for me, it's like the information that's displayed, the way that it's displayed on the card. I don't know. Just me. That's about it. We've got next week's going to be a big week. We've got a trading competition that we're going to roll out, so stay tuned for details on that. Try and get some Arbitrum peeps to join us on Eden next week. Enjoy your weekend, e-boys, e-girls. We'll see you on Monday.
Adios. Have a good weekend.
Later.